Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Look who's here, Chris Frangiola, your favorite. And when I say your favorite, I'm not asking you to then put comments and say he's no longer your favorite.
Yes,
he's like your
I
third
know.
favorite.
Yeah.
Please,
just let
it
happen.
That is what I've been introducing you as for 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So we're not going to change it. Thank you for being a classy guy who does appreciate the other comics. We're all friends.
They're all friends of mine. I don't know those two women, but other than that, everyone.
You don't know Brandy and Julie.
I don't know them. I've never met them.
We got to get together because they want to meet you.
Yeah.
So we'll do something together.
Okay. So yeah, just please, everybody stop telling me who's better than me just because Heather introduced me that way.
Oh, I also have some great news that I have booked Miss Fortune Feimster.
Oh.
We are ready to bump fists and vaginas because she is fully vaxxed, and she, you and I clearly were winked at in that People article of why we were not invited to her wedding.
Oh, yes.
For our pandemic behavior.
Yeah, but
we were problematic pandemic behavior people. To some people, they felt we were.
if they don't know the half of it. I was like licking doorknobs. I mean, I was bad. I tried to pretend like I was playing by the rules, but I wasn't.
But you came in person all those times.
I know.
We have never hugged.
No.
I don't know that we ever hugged that much before, though.
I hugged somebody the other day at a comedy show.
And you're fully vaxxed.
I'm Johnson & Johnson, so I could be
Which, by the
dead.
way, I told you, I saw Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
And we had dinner with Lisa Vanderpump. They were all fully vaxxed. And he had a black guy. And he had gotten the Johnson & Johnson.
Right.
The one and done, bottom of the barrel, no offense.
I know. It's fine.
Like you. And I'm like, I could see why Chris Frangiola got it.
Yeah.
Lazy, one and done.
Somebody, I got to get last minute, like we had him at a gymnasium, like lying on the floor. You go do it yourself. And I'm not kidding.
But Dr. Drew shows up and has a black eye.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, Susan had to put makeup on it. And then she's laughing. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? He's like, it just developed after the Johnson & Johnson shot. And I'm like, why is Susan laughing? Not that I think she'd be abusive, but the whole thing was just odd.
I'm going to tell you what it is. It's nothing to do with Johnson & Johnson. It's something that happens to all of us. I think I've discussed. It's old man, where things just begin to appear, scabs, bruises.
Why is there always an old man that has a scab? No.
Band-aids, scabs.
Something removed.
Yeah, things removed. You ever seen the top of an old man's head? Oh, my God. Scabbed up.
Anyway, hopefully Dr. Drew is no longer the black eyes gone away.
Yeah.
He's still fully vaxxed.
Good. Well, he had it, though, too. He had
it too.
Severe case.
I mean, he did not get it when he went to Mexico with us.
No, because he had that wand that he was waving over everyone's phone. That I knew. I was like, I don't know if this thing's working. Sure enough, a week later, he's like.
Not a week later. It
was a few weeks. Yeah.
Yes, but there was no way it was connected to our
No,
trip.
he was long gone at that point.
Anyway, people, hey, all I want to say is I was watching the news today, and only 1% of Japanese people have gotten the vax. So I'm just saying, if it's here, and it's like we're lucky.
Oh, in Japan, you mean?
Yeah, in Japan,
Yeah.
and we're very lucky to have the option, especially if it is easy and convenient for you. I just can't wait for them to lower it under 16 because Brandon really wants it.
Oh, they haven't lowered under 16? I thought it was.
No,
and
then I was like, he looks 16, but then Peter said, no, you cannot just show up with him.
Yeah, I think you need an ID or something.
So I'm
right?
just waiting, whatever, we'll
Yeah.
see. So, okay, good COVID news. Okay, here we go. Oscars, we talked a little bit about it. It was the all-time low of viewership. It fell under 10 million for the first time ever. Still 10 million. Kind of shocked it had that many.
It was 9 million. It was
9
million.
million.
So, but yeah, it's normally 40 million. So that's it was down 65% from last year, and last year was like the low before this year.
Right.
So it was down. I know. I mean, many reasons, of course, because nobody went to the movies, and then it was
Yes.
it was 8 movies that really nobody had seen, and it was just honestly. I know Steven Soderbergh, the director, produced it or
Yeah.
directed it or something, but it was just bad. I don't know what they were thinking. The train station that they did it
What
in.
did you think of the doing the butt thing with Glenn Close? And
Well,
then we found out it was scripted.
I mean, they had to latch on this one thing that was the least bit entertaining, and I guess it was Glenn Close doing the butt, which I don't know.
well, it was like she started to talk to, and she's like, "Oh, this is from Spike Lee's brilliant film. Why was he not nominated? 35 years ago or whatever it was."
Yeah.
And then she did the butt, and I don't know. I mean, she should know how to do the butt. Like, she's fucking Glenn Close. Like, she
Right.
fucked Michael Douglas on a dirty kitchen sink.
yeah.
Like, to me, I know, like, to the rest of the world, old white lady doing a dance, but I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Right.
she was sexy as shit. They put her in a tanning bed. They permed her hair
Wait, for Fatal Attraction.
for Fatal Attraction.
Yeah. Oh man,
And-
that's when she was at her hottest.
Her body was hot. She did him in the elevator after Cuban Dancing. It's my favorite movie. So I'm like, whatever.
And honestly, still holds up. It's one of those ones that you
Oh, my
watch,
God.
and it's still terrifying.
If you are a young person and you have not seen this movie,
Yeah,
you need to sit down and watch it.
terrifying.
You'll just love it. You'll
It's
just
so
love it.
good.
It's New York. It's fun.
yeah.
It's hot. All right. This Halle Berry outfit, I'm not going to go through all the outfits. I liked the dress. Some people didn't like the flousiness in front. She wore a lilac dress. She's a gorgeous girl. She had a horrible wig haircut. I don't know what it was. And when everybody, since this is being the year of the eyebrow, I feel like her brows were like not highlighted or her eye makeup was too heavy. I don't know. It was an awful hair and makeup. Beautiful dress.
Well, you see, I heard people saying it was a wig, but then I saw on her Instagram that she actually posted pictures of her cutting it. So I don't know if she cut a wig.
Also, you never cut your hair or bangs. Heather Dubrow, Real Housewives of OC, cut bangs in the chair before she walked out for the reunion. And then her plastic surgeon husband came out and saw the bangs and was like, no, I don't like her bangs, Andy.
Yeah.
Who fucks up a face like this? This is a perfect face. You just don't do something on a whim. Who is the person that talked her into this haircut?
I don't know.
And
but
I
I'll
don't
say
think they
this.
should
When
ever
I
be invited
first
back.
looked at it, I said I
Look
don't
here.
like it, and now I'm looking at it now, and I
Yes.
kind of like it. I mean, it's pretty hard to screw up Halle Berry.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah?
we screwed her up. I think we screwed her up.
Okay.
Speaking of, you said the other day that you feel like Alec Baldwin has this young wife, 6 kids, and he has to take these jobs.
Of course, and I believe that to be true.
Well, Robert De Niro's attorney is saying the same thing.
Of course.
He is divorcing his wife of 21 years, and he is 77, and his attorney is saying, this is ridiculous, the amount of money she wants every month so that she can buy Stella McCarthy clothes and this and that.
Yeah.
He's 77, and he likes his craft, but he's 77. He doesn't want to be on a movie set for 12 hours straight
Right.
doing these gangster type movies anymore.
Yeah.
He's tired, and he doesn't want to. And then her people said, well, we call bullshit because when he wants to have lunch with his friends, he takes a helicopter. And he wants to go to Florida, he takes a private jet. So his lifestyle hasn't changed at all. Why should hers?
So what they're saying is De Niro doesn't have as much money as everybody might think he has.
Yeah.
Because, but he's never been in like a giant blockbuster movie. He's been in great movies, but he's not
Right.
one of the Avengers or...
Well, when Peter and I divorced and he's out shopping for Travis Matthews' expensive golf clothes,
right.
I'm going to have my attorney be like, look, Heather's a funny girl.
Yeah.
But see, he knows he has me trapped because if something is late, like there was a problem with Apple this week, and then some not just mine, but other people's shows were not loading. You could still go on
Oh,
Spotify. And the panic that my Juicy Scoopers were getting, where is my Juicy Scoop? So
Yeah.
I think he knows I'm going to keep working no matter what,
Right.
even despite a spouse.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of feel for him a little bit.
Yeah, no, I feel for how much does she want, How much is she
Oh my
looking
God,
for?
I don't know. It's just a lot. I'd have to look it up. But she also has put up with his annoyingness for 21 years.
Yeah.
And at one point they filed and then they got back together because they're just like, oh, this is probably too much of a problem to break up. And then now you're seeing this and you're like, oh, he's probably like, why didn't I just stay with her? Because if I just stayed with her, but I'm sure she probably filed, I could just be like, I want to turn down this movie, and
You know,
I'm tired.
a lot of people, there was rumors that one of the reasons Robin Williams committed suicide was because he was broke from like 5 divorces, and he'd done, I mean, look at how much Robin Williams had, some big movies, but after 5 divorces or whatever he'd gone through, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was, he was broke, no more money.
He was one of the pioneers who married his nanny and made her a producer of
He
his
was
movies.
Yeah. And then it went, many people have followed, right? Kelsey Grammer.
Oh God, go from nanny to producer. You know
Yeah.
who didn't go from housekeeper to producer was the Schwarzenegger. She just kept cleaning the house.
Did she?
I mean, do you imagine?
Yeah.
Like you have to bone him and you still have to fold the laundry the next day. Like I
That's
just
right. I
can't.
forgot about it. And now they
And
have
she's
the-
like, what? My friend that was working for Robin Williams is producing a movie. Why am I still
She
cleaning
just
this
produced
fucking
Mrs.
toilet?
Doubtfire, and I'm ironing your shirts.
Anyway, okay, moving on. Our girl Britney Spears.
Wow.
She finally is going to have her day in court. I think it's June something. The big controversy here is that through all the 13 years before we got the Free Britney, Framing Britney, movement and the documentary,
Right.
is that she never asked to be out of the conservatorship.
Right.
So the court's like, I'm sorry, I know you all hate us, but like she never asked.
Yeah.
She just kept going. And then I think she like saw the movie and was like, oh, okay, you guys want me to be independent now. Like, I don't know what it,
I don't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is really being controlled, what's not, so it'll be good to see. And then the dad said, yeah, she's never asked, but if she doesn't need it, if she doesn't want it, like he's kind of being like, okay, probably because he's like older and he like lives in like, I heard he like lives in an RV or something.
The father?
He doesn't like live like a lavish
Well, that
life.
movie just won Best Picture, so it's obviously a hot lifestyle right now, living in an RV, traveling around. I will say this. I don't know if I can out him, but Dr. Drew,
Yes.
remember in Mexico, I
Yes.
asked Dr. Drew, I said, what now about the Britney Spears thing?
Yes.
Is the father the evil person in
Right.
this, or is he the savior in this? And Dr. Drew says that he's the savior in all this. They need him there. Without him, who knows what would be happening.
My thing was, he went to the courts first, and even though he was separated from or divorced from her mom, I think she was like great.
Right.
When the world was watching her shave her head and freak out and lock herself in the bathroom with their 2 little babies, and people were concerned. So was the judge. So the judge granted it, and then life went on all these years, and she never tried to get out of it.
Right.
So, but it is an interesting thing. There is this person named Lou, short for Louise, who it's kind of her business to do this conservatorship and stuff. And there's stories where she has reached out to other stars, parents of other stars,
Right.
like Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan, and her hard times, and been like, hey, here's like a financial option for everybody to keep your child like working and on their pills and don't keep creepy people from them, keep boyfriends you don't like from them.
Right.
I don't know. So we'll see. There is this guy named Billy Makeup that was brought to my attention, who is supposedly, she's talking to him.
Name's Billy Makeup?
Well, I mean, that's the name on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And I had an opportunity to talk to him on the phone, which I can't discuss.
Okay.
I wanted him to come on the show. He says he talks to her, through maybe I can't even say it, but he talks through it through an app situation. And he did tell me that she has never asked and that she loves her dad. But he also said the boyfriend is fabulous to her, wonderful,
Oh, sure.
and very good to her, and whenever they're out, he takes care of everything and all this
Yeah.
type of stuff.
With his own money? Or
Well, that's the thing. He kept saying he pays for everything, and I'm like,
with her credit
okay,
card.
where?
Yeah.
At the Starbucks?
Yeah.
Like, okay, that he's paying for this. Maybe he does pay for the meals. That's still not the mortgage.
Yeah.
Even if he puts out $1,000 a month of his own money for when they go out and get an ice cream cone,
Right.
I don't think that's that big of a deal. But so what? How is he supposed to work that much when he's when the whole world wants him to be by her side, we don't want
Right.
her to be alone. The
No.
twirling around.
Did you see her chopping the nuts?
Okay, so let's get to that.
Oh, I mean, she
By
can't
the way,
be alone.
she did this TikTok the other day, and she does this thing where she wears a bikini and then she swishes to another side. The body looks great. We're happy to see her smile. I was disturbed by these brown, like school marm or librarian pumps.
Right. Yeah.
That she grabbed these pumps to be the shoes to wear the bikini fashion show in.
Yeah.
So, all joke, don't mean a joke or be insensitive, but I don't know if that's going to be brought up in someone thinking that she's not okay to be.
No,
running her own
no.
thing.
I mean, listen, I know we've said this before on the podcast. I don't understand what people want from this. If she gets out of the conservatorship,
Yes.
do you honestly believe that she is back to being a touring, album-selling musician? I just don't think that's happening. I think there's more to her mental state than just whatever, some pills that she's on that are keeping her this way. That the moment the father's lifted, whatever that's lifted, she stops taking the pills, she's going to be out there touring and be lucid and whatever. I don't think that's happening. I think we all have to admit.
I don't know that she'll stop taking the pills because she's with the boyfriend.
Okay, so he's involved.
Right.
So what makes him any different
but
than
also
the father?
just imagine the fans, the Free Britney tour. Everyone is waxed and vaxxed and ready to go to Vegas and get their groove on.
Vegas is different.
And she's performing. That could be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. So I don't know. Yeah, I think.
But here's Vegas. Vegas is different because you're in the same place. You're in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You could walk down to the show. You could do the show. I'm talking touring the country on a plane. Got to show up at a certain time.
I'm gonna, as the judge,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a stipulation that no, we cannot do a world tour,
No.
but we can do a Vegas thing.
Right.
And also, there's rumors that she is working on new music.
Oh,
I
really?
may have heard that rumor from someone that also knows how to use a blush brush. I don't know. And I don't know if any of it's true.
I mean, I'm sure she
I don't
probably
know if any of
is.
it's true.
How does she have time to work on new music when she's just spinning around in her living room all the time in little shorts? I just see her videos. She's just constantly spinning around on that tile floor.
Well,
in
she's
her-
not only spinning because she's now cooking.
I watched it.
And it was interesting. This was a sandwich that she made
Well, the funny thing
with
was
a weird 1970s sparkly filter.
yeah, and she says,
I used to go to New York City. And,
And this was the best sandwich in the world.
no, she says Schlotsky's Deli, which, by the way, is like a chain of delis in airports. It's not like a famous New York deli. Like, there are very famous New York delis, Carnegie
Yeah,
and on and on
okay.
and on. The Schlotsky's is a fast food, it's Subway, more or less. Schlotsky's
Well,
Deli,
she made a sandwich.
which
that-
looked like the worst sandwich.
Well, it was pear.
Who the fuck puts pear and nuts on a sandwich?
Well, it's kind of like a brie type of spread that you would do with a piece of bread. At
Yeah.
like a Christmas party, people take brie and they like put some cranberry sauce on it. They stick it in the oven or they put it in a phyllo dough and maybe there's some nuts on top. Okay, so it's a pear type of, I don't know if it was brie or goat cheese.
Goat cheese. It was goat cheese.
Okay, which I love goat cheese
I
and
watched
some nuts and this ciabatta bread. And then the nuts were pecans. And
Yeah.
that was really disturbing. And you commented because she was trying to cut the nuts and it was like,
She was chopping the nuts with one hand and a knife that could, yeah. It was very terrifying.
Everyone was very scared about how she's working the knife because it was a really big knife and it was just one hand and the pecans were flying everywhere.
Like-
and then she said, you don't need a huge sandwich. Then she cut this sandwich. She goes, and here's your tiny sandwich. And then she had just like a sad, like the kind of fruit that you'd get at the hospital.
Right.
Like just like,
Like,
would you like a fruit cup, Gladys? Yes. And here it is, like a sad grape.
yeah.
What's the green melon?
Honeydew.
Honeydew,
Honeydew?
the saddest of the fruits.
Is that the green melon?
Yeah, I think she had some honeydew there, and like a sad strawberry that's
know it
not
well.
totally firm.
The Frangola's on a good day. You'd get fruit cocktail as a dessert. Remember that? The syrupy fruit cocktail. And it'd be like one red cherry in there. And whoever got the red cherry was like, that's a big day. You've had a big day. You got the maraschino cherry in your fruit cocktail.
I had so much sugar in it.
Oh, my God. Del
So then they
Monte.
said, here are people outside of the courthouse protesting. And I just wanted you to look at this photo that's from the TMZ. And it's like this Britney fan who's on a couch with everything. And I'm like, sadly, that's under every freeway.
I know.
Like, I was literally like, is that under Laurel Canyon? She has a lamp, a couch, some artwork behind her. She just set up her living room on the court. And I guess they can't move the people in front of the courthouse either.
No, this person doesn't strike me as the type of person who's up on this type of law. You know, I don't think they know anything about conservatorships or any of those people screaming out front of the trial. I don't think they know the facts.
Yeah.
And I get it. I have, we all like certain musicians and stuff, but I think we might have to let this one go. I think she's not going to be the Britney that we got. I don't think she's going to be circus or womanizer or that Britney anymore.
I predict, people, she will return to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yes.
She will continue to do her shows.
Yeah. Which was like a pre-recorded track that she just came out and
like a routine,
lip synced to and spun
routine.
around
Yeah.
and went back to to a room.
Yeah.
Sure, she can handle that and chopped nuts and ate grapes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. Oh, here's a picture of the sandwich.
Yeah, that's the
just
sad.
just
Yeah.
a pineapple and like the strawberry that's like on its last leg.
Right.
It's already growing hair. Okay. Caitlyn Jenner is obviously, we know now she's running for governor, but the Sons are not too thrilled.
Neither is half of California.
So, Brody Jenner,
Yeah.
hands down, one of the best looking people on earth.
Is that him in that picture?
This one is the hat.
Oh, up there in the hat, yeah.
Brandon, very good looking too. He's a father
And
of
who's the
three.
other
He's on
guy?
a second wife. That's Bert from his first marriage.
Oh.
And Bert is very protective of Caitlyn and always has been, because I remember being at a party and Caitlyn, then Bruce, got in a physical fight with a neighbor. And Chris is like, what the hell is going on? Like, there was like they were mad that they were having a party. I mean, this is post Kardashian, but still not to the level. Obviously, this was like 10 years ago. And I just remember Bert was there and he's like on the phone and he was like, my dad just beat the crap out of somebody. Like, he was kind of like the proud kid that's like, my dad, but then also very like, is dad okay? So I can kind of see. So Bert is concerned for Caitlyn's safety because it is such a public thing. It is,
Right.
So.
Well, I don't think it's going to go very far. I mean, I think it'll be a couple of campaign rallies, sell some T-shirts. I mean, there is like a merch site. I don't know if you saw it. It's Caitlyn for Governor, coffee mugs and T-shirts. So there's that. And I mean, who knows? Why not?
If it gets people talking, I think, hey, if they do the debate or whatever with a bunch of people and she's included, I think for the first time people will actually watch that.
Oh, I would.
So
watch
I just see it as, hey, if she wins, great, but just why not? Like why not? It's getting people talking. It's making people aware of some of the issues with California. So
well, I don't know. Now, this is because of a recall, a potential governor.
That's what I don't understand. Because if he doesn't get recalled, then would she still be running for the next term?
No, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I don't know. I don't know if she just fills out.
By it all
Remember the last time this happened with the recall? Mary Carey, the porn star, and Gary Coleman, and a bunch of people jumped in. That was also during a recall when everyone jumped into the ring for governor. I believe it was. So this is a similar type. There'll be a lot more people, oddities that are jumping into this.
Well, people say I look like Caitlyn Jenner all the time.
I have to tell you, the other day when you showed up at the Oscar party, it was the most you've ever looked like Caitlyn Jenner. I think the hair was very Caitlyn. And I'm not saying that in a bad way.
The hair, and also when I wear like I have this really pretty white Vince blouse.
Right.
And I was watching myself on 25 Words or Less. And literally it came up and I was like, I didn't know Caitlyn did this show too. And it was just me.
Well, I mean, did you see? I know you've probably talked about it, but
and that's okay because she's a tall woman with some work done.
Like
so I'm heading down that road. Yes.
Like the politics now, the way it is.
Yeah.
They have to find something to try and get these people from the supper, and they'll find anything.
Right.
All you have to show is that Masked Singer video
Oh my God.
TikTok party rock when he's prancing around.
People, why has that YouTube video not gone more viral?
It's-
A Juicy Scooper posted it, and I was like, and I let
it's
it in the
shocking.
group on Facebook, but I was like, how the hell have more people not seen this? Because it was a post, it was not shown on the show. And how did they not show it on the show?
I don't know.
I understood it to
It's-
be like outtakes or whatever.
Yeah.
So she got kicked off.
It was at the very end.
and
when,
then she did, the TikTok, the Kesha TikTok.
Yeah, which could be the
And-
worst choice you could have picked if you don't really have a good voice.
Oh my God. sing it.
TikTok party rock, everybody's dancing. Oh, and then he's prancing around. She's prancing around. It was, I mean, I know it's here's the other-
Dr. Drew he was the eagle.
Yes.
And, and he told me when he described how much, he tells everybody, he tells Lisa Vanderpump me, you got to do it if they ask you. You got to do it. It's the greatest thing. And then when you ask him about it, you're like, it sounded like so much work.
A
You
lot
had to
of
learn
rehearsal.
like 10 songs. And then they were like, oh, this song you can't do. Now learn another. This
Yeah.
person already chose this song. We've already done that song. Like now I'm entering, there's so many songs. I mean, I know someone's already sung my go-to
Right.
Bonnie Raitt. Let's give them something to talk about.
Oh,
so now I have to
definitely.
learn a whole nother song. And I just love it. Like the other day I'm watching it and one of the Pussycat girl goes, I think maybe Justin Bieber. And
Oh,
I'm like,
it's my
Justin
favorite.
Bieber?
Yeah, they go way too. But that's like the thing.
I know, but it's just
Yeah.
like, and the way they all like wonder but it's a huge hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Call me up.
I mean,
of
I
course I will
tried-
do it. Of course I will do it.
They had Kermit the Frog was one of them.
Kermit the Frog was in an outfit.
Yes, I couldn't believe it. I finally decided to watch.
So
I'm-
it's a costume within a costume?
It's a puppet in a puppet. I'm like, hey, you're breaking all the rules. I didn't even know the rules, but I feel like you've broken because they were like, he's an actor. He's a director. He's won an Academy Award. So people are like, oh, who could that be? Anthony Hopkins, whoever. And they're guessing like real people.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
He has to
needs to
win
make
this.
money.
He needs the $100,000 to pay for his ex-wife.
I did
Yeah.
see Mickey Rourke was one of them. Like,
Well, he does have a mask on his face normally.
yeah, take off the other mask. Yeah, he took off the chicken head. Then and take off that other mask. This is my face.
Here's the thing. I will do it. And, hey, I predicted I would have been asked to do Dancing with the Stars a shit time ago, which I have not.
I know.
After Amber Rose, who is one of 6 people that have told me personally what a horrible nightmare it is. I don't want to do Dancing with the Stars anymore.
Too much work?
Too much work, too much physical. I don't want to break. I don't want blisters on my feet. I don't want to break anything.
Yeah.
I just don't care to be that physically hot. At
What-
one time, I was like,
You're
let
going
me
to be
do
tempted
it.
by some Russian dancer because they always hook up. That's a big.
I know, and there's only like one tall person, so I know who I'd get.
Yeah.
But no, I will do The Masked Singer because they are running out of D and E-list celebrities.
Right.
And they've already done a couple people that I normally get their jobs like Margaret Cho's already been on.
Yeah, she was like season 1.
Yes. So I'm like, it's probably going to come down, but I feel like they're not going to choose me just yet. They do sometimes pick like a YouTuber thing, but now in their heads, they're like, she's not really on TV. So I don't know that they'll pick
Yeah.
me.
Here's
But
what
when
happened.
Dr. Drew took off his thing, nobody knew who he was. Everyone's like,
what's happening with Masked Singer is
Yeah.
it's actually working the opposite. I believe the first season
Yeah.
nobody wanted to do it. Now that it's become
Oh.
a bigger hit, I think they're getting bigger stars. So
Well, then I'm definitely
it's
never
working in
being asked.
reverse because Caitlyn was a
Never
big get
being
for
asked.
them. I think.
Speaking of Hollywood, this is kind of a juicy story. It's in LA Times. A rising actor, he had fake HBO deals and one of Hollywood's most audacious Ponzi schemes. So this guy, who is in like his early 30s, basically in a nutshell, he went to college, he played football, he had like a fun college life. His 2 or 3 best friends, they went on to work for like Morgan Stanley, have normal jobs. He's like, I want to be an actor. He came out here with his girlfriend. He pays for an acting coach. And he reaches out to these college friends and he's like, hey, I have this amazing opportunity because I met all these people in Hollywood. You're going to invest in this these deals, and then Netflix is going to buy the licensing of these movies for like Latin America, whatever.
Right.
And you'll get all your money back, and you'll also be a movie producer. And won't this be fun? And Anyway, the whole thing was bullshit.
Yeah.
And finally, all the investors went to go sue him. Well, he didn't have a pot to piss in. So they're like, well, we're going to sue Netflix and HBO. So Netflix and HBO gets the lawsuit delivered to them, and their attorneys start going through it. And they're like, you owe us money. Look at all the emails that this guy, what's his name, Zachary Horowitz, sent us all these emails with these Netflix executives on it saying, yes, we're going to do this deal. Yes, we're going to do. And they went through and they're like, these emails are all fake.
Yeah, he took fake emails.
So Netflix obviously and
But
HBO
it was like,
are off the hook.
he got like $680 million or something.
It was incredible. And
Yeah.
then he would take those loans and pay off other people. This is what I don't understand about a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
He took in $680 million, and yes, some of those monies that he would take, then he'd pay back somebody else. And he lived in a nice house in Beverly Hills. But now they're like, he has $3,000 left in his checking, and another checking account he has $4.
Yeah. I know.
I don't understand where $680 million went, though.
Right.
Is it in the ground somewhere? And he's like, let me go to prison for 5 years. And I'll stay married to me, and we'll still be, I just don't understand it. I'll never understand how there's nothing left.
I think it's lost. I mean, I think in that, I don't know. I read this article and I just don't understand how anybody falls for any of this. Like the moment I started reading the scam.
I totally do see why people fall
How?
for it.
How would you possibly, like you could tell this guy, he obviously is not connected in Hollywood. Like it's an easy Google away to see if this guy's somewhat connected in Hollywood. Like you know how movies get made. You know how these things happen. You know what HBO
No,
produces.
you don't know how movies get made because
Yeah,
you're not. Do you did you ever see the Entourage movie?
Yes.
The Entourage movie had an element where they go and this Texan guy wants his dumb son to be a movie producer. So he gives them all the money for him to do this, for the
Right.
hot guy to do the movie. I do think there's just really rich people that are like, my next thing is, I want to be a movie producer. And they go, hey, if this is a hit, like you're going to be going to the Oscars. You could actually have an Oscar.
Right.
So why not? You're a billionaire.
Okay, so
why
you
not?
had that. So you have the $1 billion. You could go take that money to legitimate studios and legitimate people, like who you
But
could
it's
probably. They all need money.
Right, but it's their sons and grandsons who went to them and said, invest in this. It's this huge return. This is our friend. We work at Morgan and Stanley.
Yeah.
We're a grandson and son. Like those guys weren't in it either. They got screwed too, the college friends.
Yeah, I know.
And I just think it's like, it is sort of believable. Okay, so I talked about this story before. It was in the LA Times and then it just like went away. But there's a scammer named Bruce Taylor that's tall and good looking. And he had a dating engaged and had a baby with this woman named Wendy who works for KTLA, Wendy
Okay.
Birch. She does not want me talking about this story
I
at
know.
all.
Yeah.
She actually even reached out to someone I know and said, could she please stop talking about it? But I won't, because please look up the story. It's very interesting and it involves Wendy. And there's many different lawsuits, but basically this guy pursued women and got them to invest in companies and stuff, and acted like he was interested in them romantically. They thought they were investing in certain companies, and then he just disappear.
Right.
And there's stories and and I've talked to some people off the record that there's so many women all across the country, but I don't know that they're all gonna like want their story out to do like a whole nother dirty job, but I'm telling you this could be one, because I talked to him twice. I have emails from him and I met out with him twice.
Wait, he was trying to get money from you?
Yeah, he's trying to do some
Yeah.
business with me. And I mean, little did he know that I was madly in love and married. But
Right. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I met him at Katsuya one night after
Really?
Chelsea Lately to talk. The thing was a charity for female stand-ups. He wanted to put this whole charity. That's one of the scams. It's these charities that are charities are the way to go. Okay, so then, when that didn't happen, then he reached out to me again, and much like this guy, we looked up the email. It said Raleigh Studio, some address in Raleigh Studio.
Right.
And Raleigh Studios is also a place that you and I could rent
Yeah. A
an
studio
office
space. Yeah.
and put Raleigh Studios. But everyone has heard of Raleigh Studios. So who does? I didn't do the research.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So then I go meet this guy at the one across from the Beverly Hills Hotel, or whatever that is. I want to say it's like French or something. Anyway, because I'm meeting Kris Jenner for dinner.
Yeah.
And she's got to do some pet thing, like the last cheesy thing she did before she was like, why am I still showing up at a pet thing? Anyway, so he meets me there and he tells me he's got all these investors from Texas, because he's from Texas, to bring back MySpace. Like MySpace is going to come back like with a vengeance.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. Now, Facebook and like Twitter and I even think maybe Instagram had begun at that point. And I was like, so Kris meets him and she's charmed by him. I mean, who knows where she and Bruce were at that time,
Yeah.
or Caitlyn. So it's like, and, you know, and I was like, well, you know, I'm like, I don't know what this deal is. I don't know this guy, whatever. Thank God Kris and I never got involved with him after that. But then I'd see him at parties with Wendy. And I was like, oh, that was that guy that wanted to bring MySpace back, which never came back.
No, I haven't. I don't think he's still working on it.
So, you know, anyway, I just think it's interesting. You know, I totally see how people can get sucked in. Then based on how much they lost and how embarrassed they are,
Yeah.
and especially if it's something that was romantic, they oftentimes just leave me out of it. I just want to move on. Don't come to me. I don't want to be on your podcast. I don't want to, you know, but
Yeah.
I did believe it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I think everything's a scam, and so I go into everything thinking
Yes.
this might be a scam. So I go in.
Just investigate people.
Years ago, I got caught up. Like I was like filming movies when I first got to LA. Like I think I talked about this before in here. Like the guy was like filming with a video camera. Some like gay guy in Malibu.
Like this right now.
Yeah, like kind of. I mean, more or less. And he was. He was like, every day we do a new movie. Like I'd show up and he goes,
Now we got another movie.
that's how he talked. His name was Bob Wellborn. He's got to be long since dead now. And
Actually, his name was Bruce Taylor.
well, I mean, the same type of guy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 5 years later, I'm
Yeah.
in my apartment, and the cops come knocking on my door, and they got a box of videotapes, and it's these movies. And this guy was selling them to Japan, overseas, like this guy was saying he was doing. He was selling them overseas, saying these are full-length American movies. This is before internet and this, he couldn't check.
Right.
So, you know, these companies like, oh, we want American movies, whatever, Japan, Brazil, China. So they were buying them. And
Yeah.
there I was, just, you know, running around. I'm not kidding. He had, if I wish I could get my hands on these, because there's one
So
of
do
them
I,
where
yeah.
I'm in a leopard skin, like what's a short robe? Like a short silk robe? What do they call that?
That's
Like
called a short silk robe.
like a kimono or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a little, I had one of those on. That was like
What color was it?
it was a leopard skin.
Oh, leopard.
Yeah,
Even
and he gave
sexier.
it to me, and he's like, "This is your costume for the day." And I put that on, and then I just walked around his pool for like an hour, just around the pool. And it was like a shitty house in Malibu. It wasn't nice. There was like dog shit around the pool and stuff. And I had to like maneuver around the dog shit in my kimono. And someone in Japan bought it for like $75,000. And
Okay, I'm going to tell the Juicy Scoopers because they're so talented. Will you please, someone,
they'll
Photoshop
never. Oh,
Photoshop a shitty pool and a man in a kimono and then put Chris's face on it, and I will send you a present.
Thank
if
you.
you are able to do that I could share this.
yeah. But
the
anyway,
world.
this guy went to jail for scamming. Basically, like this guy overseas people by saying these are full-length movies, and they were just me in a kimono. He gave
Also,
me-
I feel like these people rarely get the punishment because it is so hard to prove because
Right.
no one got murdered. They're
Yeah.
just like, okay, so speaking of which, this is a real Hollywood deal that myself had something to do with.
Okay.
Casey Hammer, who is the aunt of Armie Hammer, is going to be part of a huge documentary, docuseries. And she only did one interview, which was Juicy Scoop.
It was good. I listened to it.
And in the deal on Deadline, it says, following her Vanity Fair article, which just came out last week, but I know this deal obviously was in the works a long time ago. So
Thank
thank
you.
you. And
All
thank
right.
you to the Zen Blonde who made me aware of her. because she went and did research over Armie Hammer and found that he had an aunt who wrote a book. And then, like, I found out about the Zen Blonde. And then, so it was really women helping women and nobody, it's all real.
All right.
Okay, now this is not good. This is Seeking Sister Wives. I've had these people on the show. This is Dimitri. Let me explain to you, Chris.
Okay.
So Dimitri and Ashley have been together 10 years. They have a spiritual marriage. They've never really been married. They have 3 kids.
Okay.
This is the 3rd season of Seeking Sister Wife, I believe. The first season, they said they're looking for a sister wife. They met a couple people. He boned a few people. She didn't like that he was boning people till after they met someone. They had one in their family that there was a big issue with. They squashed that story before they were filming. Then they met this other girl, and she came on the show. They were all together. They had a 3-way spiritual marriage in Temecula. It was all on the show. And then she left and went to live with her sister in Australia. And I DM'd her, and she said, I have so much to tell you, Heather, but I signed an NDA. It was just awful, and thank God I escaped. Season 3 comes, and now they're pursuing 2 women, Taylor and this girl called Christelle. And Christelle is this beautiful woman who comes from South Africa, and she has 2 little kids. So we see her come out, visit them. She leaves. The other girl, Taylor, comes. She's from Atlanta. And they say, all right, we've already worked out the dick schedule. We're all going to bone Dimitri. This girl from Taylor has no kids. She's down to be a second or third wife to these now 5 kids. The house is in the valley. It doesn't look big enough for all these people. Anyway, Christelle came from South Africa, and I guess she had to legally marry him in order to be here.
Yeah.
The other girl wasn't married. She comes here with her 2 kids. They just found out back in January. I don't know if this was just if the event happened in January, and she's reporting it now because the news came to TMZ yesterday that she claimed that he bashed her head against a wall, choked her a lot during sex, and that Ashley also prevented her from leaving and has gotten a temporary restraining order against him.
Wow.
And the rumor is that now Ashley has also left him. That I don't know where anybody is because this woman has 2 little kids and she's from South Africa. So where is she living? Is she living with Ashley? Is she living in the house? Did Ashley and Dimitri have to leave the house? It's just a mess. And, TLC must have known something about this. But I'm hoping that now the other girl will finally be able to talk, even though she signed an NDA.
Yeah. Don't people still talk even though they have an NDA? Like, what does an NDA actually do?
I don't know. At this point, I'm like, I understand why she was respecting it before, but at this point, I'd be like, yeah, let me tell my story. Let me help, people out. Anyway, it's very juicy, very sad. I hope everyone's safe. But he was charming. He said, do you want to join us?
In a spiritual...
Yeah, when he was sitting here with the 2 girls, he was like, they were so excited to be on Juicy Scoop. They were all nice. And, they were like, come and join.
Yeah. There's a couple of buzzwords out. Like, this is like the scam we just talked about. Like, if any guy asking you to be in a spiritual marriage or anything, you just got to go no. Just say no. Like, I'll go meet somebody who wants to be in a real marriage. Like, I don't know. There's another one I wouldn't fall for.
I mean, I'm obsessed with this Sister Wives whole thing.
Yeah.
There she is. This is on the show Sister Wives. This guy plays a banjo, and his second wife was giving birth. And he just kept playing the banjo. It was horrible. This couple is the one everyone's obsessed with right now. This guy's name is Garrick.
Okay.
This is his wife of all these years. They have 2 boys together. He talked her into the fact that Jesus came down to them one day and said that they need to have a polygamous marriage. So they went online and found a hot Brazilian who wants to be American.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
those are good looking
So
people,
he said the only way we can bring the Brazilian here is if you and I get divorced.
Oh.
So I can marry her because it's like a 90-day fiance thing. So she goes, okay. And now they're all in Cabo together, and he's taking her on private boat trips and boning her every night. And she's like, I just have to work on, the Lord and not being jealous. And
Right.
and then like the way they film it, and then she's just like, can I have a minute? Like she's crying, like, and then this is the best part. She doesn't speak any English, so they have to
Right.
talk into the iPhone.
Yeah.
So, and what he calls wife number one, large wife,
Oh no.
and her tiny wife, and then they refer to himself as husband and her as sister. So when he's talking to her, name's Roberta, but she goes by
Yeah.
Bert, which is horrible.
Bert.
Yeah.
That's Caitlin's son. It's the second time we've brought up. I was like, it's a weird name. It's come up twice in this.
So he's like, so husband gets to be with tiny wife tonight, and large wife is going to be by herself. Sister says that I can have you, tiny wife, to myself all 8 nights. And then large wife is like, uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know.
And
You
she
never
calls
wanna
her
be large
sister.
boy.
She's like, how's it going? And she goes, it's okay sitting on the beach alone in
Yeah.
Cabo. And the sister's like, yeah, told you. Like, didn't think it was a great idea that you
Right.
divorce the love of your life and let this chick come in and like be Mama Bert
Yeah.
or Tiny Mama
Tiny Mama Bert.
to your sons. I mean, people just, you cannot, if you watch the show, you're going to want to find Garrick and, as Sarah said, punch him in the throat.
Yeah.
He is the worst person on
I
earth.
don't. This goes back, doesn't anyone just stay home? Just stay home and watch TV. Like I was looking at a picture of that drummer Travis Barker holding.
Oh, I have the
holding
photo.
Courtney.
I have it. Let
Kardashian.
me get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
First of all, this guy, he's in Japan, which I said doesn't have a lot of people vaxxed. I don't know how he did it.
No.
Anyway, he has 35 girlfriends, but he lied to them about his birthday. So
Oh.
they're all pissed because he told them each of them was a different birthday so that he could get all these gifts from them.
Oh.
And I mean, I like to milk at a birthday. I'm
Yeah,
guilty of this.
right.
I probably have had 35 girlfriends, or Ramona Singer is always like, I've got about 35 girlfriends that like to throw me a beautiful party and I'll put $150 towards like a really great Chanel bag. So I just thought that was funny. Like that is kind of a smart thing to do. If you're dating a bunch of people, you just lie about your birthday.
Right. get a
And
bunch of nice
clean it up.
gifts. All right.
This is another show. We talked about shitty shows, but this is kind of, not all of it's great. This is called Extreme Sisters. I think
Okay.
these people are Australian. They're identical twins. They're about 35, and they have the same husband,
Oh.
but they're not really married.
Yeah. Spiritual marriage.
No,
Wait,
they
who-
fuck. They fuck, and they all fuck in the same bed and everything.
Oh.
Because they're so identical twinsies. Like if one has a toothache and they're gonna get rid of the tooth,
Yeah.
she goes, I want my sister's tooth removed too. And the sister's like, yes, I want my tooth removed. I don't want to have one thing different than you. And then they said, how does it work sexually? And they're like, well, if he's like going down on my sister,
Right.
then he'll know intuitively he's got to do it to me too, because I'm
Right.
kind of already feeling it.
Oh, through the
I guess.
twins can
You know how
feel
like
that.
twins would be like in another room and like one twin stubs her toe and the one in the other room is like, ouch. You know, like
I've heard that. Yeah.
that's what
Wow.
it's like.
Okay.
Okay. Khloe Kardashian's baby daddy, Tristan, who she is on the show right now talking about how they're getting along, trying to have another baby.
Yeah.
This girl went on a show, a podcast YouTube show called Blackout Girls, and they're all drinking, and she tells how she got with him.
Got up with Tristan.
Got with Tristan in November, and then talked, I think, again in January.
Oh no.
And then he texted her right after
I'm
Truce.
beginning. I don't trust this Tristan as far as I could throw him.
Well, and you
know?
can't throw him. Yeah.
No.
She's a very pretty girl. She's an Instagram model who isn't.
Yeah.
And then, but you know, people are going to be listening to this podcast. She said, I'm sorry. He told me he wasn't in a relationship. I didn't know, which I kind of believe her because we didn't really know they were together. They were together in quarantine and we're watching it in the show now.
Right.
But I don't know that people knew back in November in the summer if they were or not. I don't know. Who cares? You know, she's a pretty girl. He's a hot guy. These girls bone for clout. They bone
Yeah.
for a podcast story. There's so many
Right.
podcasts of girls just talking about their sexual conquest with people that are slightly famous or with some other famous women. And they're like, oh my God, I had a dick that was once inside Khloe Kardashian. bam. I don't know.
I
It's
think
weird.
that's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's the clout chasing is what they call it. Like they're just.
I told you I was just having drinks with a comedian friend of ours.
Oh,
and-
yes,
yeah,
Jeff
and
Dye.
Jeff Dye.
And I said, oh my God, tell me all about Kristen Cavallari. And you know what Chris said, Juicy Scooper? So if you want to go after someone,
yeah, bring it on.
what did you say?
I said I don't care to go down that road. I didn't say it. I just wasn't biting.
He just kept
on it.
moving the conversation
Yeah,
to other things.
to like
and
talking about, comedy clubs in Omaha. And,
he's like,
and
I thought he wanted to meet and talk shit about some comedy club managers.
That's what I
I didn't want
thought.
to hear about Kristen Cavallari and him dating her. I'm like,
I know.
oh my God, this is what every Juicy Scooper.
Everybody was so disappointed
No,
in me.
this is everybody that's married to a guy or with a guy that then wants, when you come home from your girls' dinner and you're with your girlfriend who's getting divorced and your husband's like, so what's going on there?
Yeah.
You give them all the juicy scoop. They're super into it. Then they go golfing with someone for 5 hours who's also going through a divorce, whose wife is in rehab, who got caught fucking her trainer or something. And then you're like, what happened with Joe? Tell me everything. Oh, we didn't talk about that shit.
Yeah.
For 5 hours, I didn't talk about that shit. You were sitting with it. So
I know.
get
I dropped the ball.
You get a big mark on your Juicy Scoop report
We'll
card.
get together again, for sure, and I'll get better. Oh, there it is.
Here is Courtney. She's in love with Travis Barker, and this photo, I guess everyone loved it. If I was Courtney, I think she has a beautiful body. I wouldn't be that happy with this photo, but obviously she was.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I don't think it's like, I kind of feel like I feel like if she was standing up, her body would be better, but whatever. It is the toddler jump that I'm obsessed with that Peter won't do now, especially now he really won't do it because now he's saying he's got back problems.
Yeah.
But people are into the fact that his thumb is practically up her butthole.
Yeah.
They're so in love. He keeps posting these little videos of like, I love you. And like, that's it. Or he just shows his hand on her ass. And people are like, ah! They're obsessed with it wherever they are in these sand dunes. Jersey.
Do you think that one? Do you think that one goes the distance? You think this one's here to stay, or
I kind of could see it because I think they've been friends for a really long time. They
Yeah.
live in the same neighborhood. Their kids, like there was times years ago that he'd be in the show coming over because the kids were playing.
right?
So I kind of think it's one of those kind of beautiful things where like adult parents are now single, and
Right.
it kind of comes together. I mean, I'm shocked, that she's like with his look.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
she went from Scott Disick, who's very good looking, and then she was with another young guy who's very good looking, a model guy.
right.
So she has always gone for Whitey, but he's not really white because he's so.
He's so tattooed up, but he's got. I mean, it's a cool look. It's a rocker look.
I mean, apparently he's just like a really sweet delight.
Yeah, that's
now
what I've
his
heard.
wife, his former ex-wife, is not thrilled with all the PDA that's going
Yeah.
on in social media.
And because they had a TV show on E or something. didn't
Yes,
they?
they
Keeping up with
did.
the Barkers, or wasn't that like
Yeah.
a show? And then I saw that they also went on a date with a double date with Megan Fox
Yeah.
and the other tattooed, skinny, big dick guy. I would
Yes.
imagine. I'm assuming these
Oh,
are
they
big
all
dick guys.
have big dick, like Tommy Lee.
Yeah, I'm
If
assuming
you're a
they're
skinny
big dick.
musician with a lot of tats and you're white,
Yeah,
your dick has to be big.
it has to.
It's like a type.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jersey Shore, he's a nightmare. Ronnie Ortiz, Ortiz. He already had all this domestic fighting and violence with his baby mama. They are not together. He had a new girlfriend. She called the cops on him, and he was arrested. Then that new girlfriend is like, "Please leave us alone," So she's probably having second thoughts. The baby mama, had to drive from Las Vegas all the way home to go get the child because the child was with him and the new girlfriend when the new girlfriend called the police on him.
wait, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Is Jersey Shore still? I'm sorry. This is the saddest thing. Is Jersey Shore still going on?
They keep coming back for like family reunion and stuff,
Yeah.
or then the situation was they did something before he went to jail, and now I feel like he's back out
a
of
couple
jail.
of years ago, I tried to watch one, and
And then their family reunion, so they all leave their kids at home,
yeah,
and then they
but
just
they were
go and
talking
get,
about their kids.
but they still go and get wasted at like a home.
And Mike Sorrentino.
And then,
shows
like, the
up.
only storylines were about how he and her just kept getting in fights, and cops kept getting called. The
Yeah.
baby mama #1.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's not good for his probation. Okay,
Did
wait.
you or do you know? Speaking of Jersey Shore, did you watch or do you know anything about that reboot of the original Real World? Didn't that New,
Oh,
Real
on
World New York?
Paramount or
Yeah.
whatever. I heard it was really good, but I did not watch it
Oh,
because I don't
really?
have the Paramount.
I'd like to watch that.
All right, well, why don't we make a date?
Yeah, we'll make a date and watch that.
Oh, but let's not happen. Now, something traumatic happened. Two things I promised to talk about
Oh, okay.
on this show, so I have to get to it.
Yeah.
Is we had a really good time at Sarah Colonna's house.
Oscar night.
Oscar night, and it was getting time to go. And I said, let me just go to the bathroom. And they have a nice large home. They have two bathrooms really kind of across the hall. One is just a half bath and one is a full bath.
Right.
And I went to the full bath and I was like, oh my God, it smells so bad in here. What is going on? And then it was actually coming from the half bath. And Peter absolutely took a plunger-worthy, like, dump. Like, oh my God, at a dinner party with 6 people.
Okay, but wait, there's more
Please,
to the story.
please tell. I'm dying. I'm humiliated.
And I don't want to out Peter because I
Well,
love
we are.
Peter.
We're outing him to the
And I'll say
couple
this about
100,000
Peter.
people. Yes.
I admire someone's confidence in someone else's home. I think I don't know if it's confidence or whatever it is,
Ugh.
to just come in. And
Yeah.
he's been there many times. He's friendly with them.
Oh, he'll change channels.
But I don't
He'll
know if
fix lights.
I don't know if I'll ever be lay down on the couch friendly. And I know Cologne and John very well.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not lay down on the couch friendly. He was full lay down on the
Yeah,
couch.
totally.
Lay down on the couch.
Yeah.
Shirts are up. Shirts are moving around on him. There's all those things are happening. He's laying there.
I know.
So and it was like, if you wanted to speak to Peter, we all had to go over and like speak to him while he was lying down,
Yes.
which I felt like at that point we were visiting him in a hospital or something.
Oh my God.
He made no
I
effort to
know.
like get up and chat with him.
No, I mean, do you understand? Like, we have like several groups of friends, couples that were really not part of their social group anymore because some wife did go, that was weird. Like, why was he taking a nap on our couch? Why?
So it's so funny to me. And then he gets up. And now I don't know if I'm just crazy. I mean, my biggest fear is clogging up someone's toilet
my
when I'm
God,
at their
beyond,
house. Like
beyond.
I think it's most people's biggest fear when you're going
that
to
and
someone's
becoming
home.
a quadriplegic. Two things I fear on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a quadriplegic, plugging up someone's toilet? You can't even move your hands to plunge it. But anyway, he comes out of the bathroom. I don't think you were in the room at that point. And he goes, I think John was going, and he goes, you better bring a plunger in there. Like,
I mean, you weren't here to even. Why did you ask for a plunger to see? You should be doing it yourself. Your Super Bowl winner has to go get
he had to go get
a plunger, and I just was like, again, watch. I'm not going to be invited to the. I'm going to. This is what's going to happen in about a month and a half. No, shut up. In about a month and a half, I'm going to be sitting at home around 4:00 on a beautiful sunny day, and I'm going to be bored, and I'm going to go to my Instagram, and I'm going to see that Sarah is having a pool party.
Yeah.
And Fortune's going to be there, and Chris is going to be there, and probably Jen, because she's waxed and vaxxed.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's not going to be there?
Right.
Us.
No, I think she texted me the next day, Sarah, and she said, because I took cookies that I brought, they weren't eating them, I took them back, as I often do.
Yes.
And she said, I can't believe you took those cookies back. And I said, well, I could have left them. She goes, Peter just would have shit on them. So,
Oh my God. I mean, thank
Yeah.
God for Juicy Scoop. And then I can dangle a fucking carrot to keep this friendship going because
Yeah.
you and Sarah both like to appear on it. And the Juicy Scoopers are nice enough to follow them and go on their shows.
I
But I
appreciate
mean,
it.
if this goes away, I mean, I'll never hear from either one of you again.
And you told me that you were going to tell me another story.
Oh,
while
my
we're on
other
Peter,
story about Peter.
that he has zero jealousy.
He has zero jealousy. I've talked about this before, and just it continues to prove itself. So I am stuck in Casper, and I start talking to these two guys, and they're like my age. They are successful farmers in UC Davis. Or no, they met at UC Davis, so they're in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
They're college roommates. They're cute. And we start chatting about how they have to get to Bakersfield. They don't know how they're going to do it. And so we don't know if we're going to get on our flight or not. It's just everything's been, pushed back. And I'm like, God, this trip now has cost me 3 days. So I love doing stand-up, but still. So then they say, we might get a car and drive there. And I
Yeah.
said, I literally was like, they had an FBI agent. And I go, do you think I can sit next to the FBI agent? And they go like, well, he's been drinking in the weird little bar outside of TSA for a while. But yes, we'll let you sit next to him. Because I'm like, okay, if I get in a car with him for 5 hours and I get like some juicy scoop from an FBI, like
Right.
it could be kind of worth it at this point.
How many guys? It's all
8.
8 guys and you? It would have been.
8 guys, and they meet every year and they go fly fishing. So I'm like,
But it would have been 8 guys in the car and you.
yes.
Wow.
They were looking into renting a van.
You'd have to. I don't think
Well,
there's any other way.
and also it has a bed for raping.
yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
so I write to Peter. Okay, first of all, I just want to say, I call Peter, I go, can you start looking for flights? He goes, well, no, because you're right there with the lady to help you. You know, I'm like, he goes, your only hope will be the flight coming to LAX will be delayed also. So don't change that flight yet. Okay. So then I go, all right. And then I say, hey, I might drive to Denver. This is a text to my husband. I might drive to Denver with these farmers and an FBI agent. He immediately writes back, that sounds like fun. So then I'm like, what the fuck? So then I go, there are 9 of them. And I take a photo of them just to show that they have like work boots on and look
They're real farmers.
They're real farmers. Like
Yeah.
this is like some what was that movie where they acted like squeal like a pig?
Deliverance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is some of them. They meet every year for fly fishing. So I'm either getting gang raped or they're Brokeback Mountain farmers, and we will get to listen to Juicy Scoop, and they'll act like, "Oh, we've never heard of this," but then
Yeah.
they'll know. Like when we were doing the ATV thing in Utah this year, this guy that was the most manly-looking thing stopped me and was like, "Hey, Heather McDowell from Juicy Scoop," and I was like,
really? Wow.
I was like, this guy. I need a wife, and she's like, "What's Juicy Scoop?" And I'm like,
He listens in the closet.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so all he writes after that is, make sure you wear a mask.
Well, you know.
So then I take a picture. So then they look me up, and one of the guy's wife knows who I am.
Oh, okay.
So then we take a photo. And by the way, I looked super cute because the whole plan was I was landing at 5:30. Peter was going to pick me up. We were going to go to Palos Verdes and eat at the country club that Tiger Woods had drinks of at the night before.
Yeah.
He went and crashed his car, which, by the way, do you know that he's never even been issued a speeding ticket for that?
He was going 80 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terranea.
Yeah, Terranea.
Yeah.
Well, and I just got a speeding ticket for rolling through a stop sign, $256 in my
Really?
neighborhood. $256. And so I called my cop friend and I
The
said,
guy from the car,
yeah,
FBI
from
agent.
my FBI guy,
Yeah.
from my the guy from the Netflix doc. And I said, I'm just curious. It looks like Tiger didn't get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
He said, I think he suffered enough.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why do I get one? Okay, anyway. So, of course, that was going to be canceled. I can't go to the
Yeah.
fancy dinner. I can't go by see where Tiger was. So I go, 3 are divorced. I didn't know if they were. I just thought that might get him jealous.
Yeah.
You know? Are you? And then I wrote, Peter, are you sure this is safe? All but one has been drinking for hours. I mean, we're talking the accused.
Yeah.
Okay. But the FBI guy should be drunk enough to spill some juicy scoop. And he goes, yes, I think it's safe because it's Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
And I said, but they're from California, not Wyoming. What state is more rapey? And
Yeah.
they're getting a van. And then now I think he knows that I'm not really
Yeah.
thinking about doing it. And then he goes, it's not called rape in Wyoming.
Oh.
Anyway, I got on the plane. I got drunk at the United office,
Yeah.
whatever place. And then I finally got
Wow.
home at like 11.
That's a nightmare. Well.
So to
Anyway,
the
can
fu-
I ask you another
yes,
question?
Please,
And
please
maybe
do.
you've discussed this, and
Please.
it's something that's been on my mind. And have we ever gotten any conclusion on the Lady Gaga dog walker guy who was shot? How come we've never heard about anyone getting arrested for actually shooting the guy, or even so much as a investigation? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I've looked into this.
Okay,
And no,
right? There's been nothing.
No, the story last
kinda
story I
went
saw
away.
that it was a gang initiation,
That's what I heard. I heard a little bit of that, but
which
still,
is someone who grew up with the Crips and the Bloods. I think gangs people have become a little pussified if their now initiation is to get pop divas French
Your Frenchies, yeah.
Frenchie
Yeah,
bulldogs.
yo, go get that dog. That little dog.
West Hollywood is now the fourth most dangerous city
Yeah.
in the country.
Is that
after
right?
Oakland, yes.
Really?
Rents apparently have gone down
Oh.
because my hairdresser, he's fine getting a place.
Yeah.
He's a guy. But he told me what he rented and he told me where it was. And I said, how much?
Yeah.
And he said a big 1-bedroom with a balcony and a, huge living room, like right off of Melrose, $1,800 a month.
Wow. I mean, that's a deal here in L.A. Yeah.
No, but I was kind of like, so anyway, but yeah, I don't think that they know who, I don't think they have any leads.
Okay.
And since she got her dogs back, I don't think she really cares either.
Yeah, I just thought it was just kind of it was strange how the story
I
just
hope
kind of
he's
went away.
recovering, the
Yeah.
guy. I mean, and I hope he's going to be okay.
Okay.
But
So
Madonna just bought The Weeknd's massive house in Hidden Hills.
yeah.
She is going to be in Hidden Hills. My dream of one day, I used to sit as a little girl. I used to manifest it and secret it. I'd watch Oprah interview Madonna, and I said, one day I'm going to be interviewing Madonna, and we're going to be such good friends. So I think the dream is coming pretty close to. I think it could actually happen at one point.
Do you want to be friends with Madonna? I feel like
I don't want
she's
to be
kind of
friends, but I'd
little
like
off
to
the
introduce.
rails
I'd
right
like
now.
to interview her.
I follow her on Instagram, and
Oh, she's like-
yeah. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot of plastic surgery, a lot going on, but again, do I blame her? No.
She still looks fine, but yeah.
I mean, her photos between the plastic surgery and the filter, she looks like she's 12.
And does she still? She's like a 22-year-old boyfriend, right?
She has some guy that I think she's still with. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Okay. This is pretty juicy. Okay, so before we go, Chris,
Okay.
I asked some juicy scoopers, what is a show? What is the best of the worst shows?
Got it.
I mentioned that there's a new show called The Laundry Guy. I have not seen it. Maybe it's fabulous, but
What's it called?
The Laundry Guy, he does laundry.
Oh, who's the Celebrity Laundry?
No, he's just some guy, and he like it's. But then I saw a little bit more of a preview, and it's like, here's my dress that has a big stain on it. How did that happen? It was at my mother's funeral, or I don't know. Then you talk
Yeah.
about I don't know. So I kind of feel bad that John, what's his name, Medessa. Anyway, he was Dorinda's boyfriend. Remember, you met Dorinda's
Yes.
boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
He has a very successful dry cleaning place called Madame Paulette. And they were boyfriend and girlfriend. They since broke up. But I thought, why didn't he get that gig?
Yeah.
You know?
He's already kind of.
So a lot of other people said I have to watch Pig Royalty.
Yes,
It's
I've
about
heard
pig
that too.
farmers?
It's about, yeah, I guess so. Pig farmers.
Oh, by the way, one of those farmers showed me pictures of this black pig they had that lives like a dog in their house.
Oh. Okay.
And I even said, I go, it's not even that cute.
yeah.
Like, I understand people have pigs that are like pets,
Yeah.
but why did you pick a black one? Like, just
Yeah.
no offense. Oh God, I shouldn't say that. I'm just meant it's just not as cute as I
Right.
would think
Sure.
a pink one would be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
It
agree.
looked more like a hog. It didn't look like a little pig. But it was like eating the kids' food and stuff. There was like a 2-year-old on the ground just like trying to watch its show, and then the pig goes. They showed me the video of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, I don't know.
tell me the shows.
I hate or should I say the ones about the Christmas light competitions, the family Christmas light competitions.
Why do you have a
And-
problem with those?
Well, because I want to bring this up.
yes.
I believe that if you're going to do those competitions,
Right.
I don't know how much if you hang out in parks. I have a child, so I have to take it to the park every day.
Okay.
And on Sundays, we go to the park by my house here in the valley. And if you've never seen a Mexican family set up a party at a park, this is unbelievable. And I think there needs to be a competition show about Mexicans setting up parties in the park because the lengths they
Totally.
go to. And now, I'm talking to big parks. So there's 9 parties going on.
They'd bring like full canopies,
Oh, full canopy.
balloons,
Bounce
flowers.
houses. There was a guy.
Yeah.
He had 3 bounce houses: little kid bounce house, adult bounce house, which is just strange, and then he had a bounce house that was a mechanical bull, like a mechanical bull in the center, and a bounce house around it. And there is, I mean, you think they bring some folding chairs, 6, 7, 45 folding chairs come and A barbecue, a house barbecue, like a barbecue that you have on your patio.
So they bring it like in a truck.
A real barbecue comes out.
Okay. They don't use what's provided at the park.
5 different pinatas.
Okay.
Every tree's got a pinata hanging from it. Little kid pinata, big pinata, regular pinata, every pinata.
Adult pinata with
Adult
probably little
pinata
liquor
with liquor
bottles.
bottles.
Yes.
Everybody's swinging sticks around. My daughter, I mean, she thinks it's like a carnival. She goes
Yeah.
from party to party. They give her a cupcake. Next one's a lollipop. But it's so funny because the Mexican candy, sometimes it's just, it's a lollipop, but it's spicy.
Well, it's like a Mexican Coke, right?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Mexican
yeah.
Coke has more sugar, but the candy has spice in it.
It has spice in it, spicy lollipop.
Oh.
Yeah, so she bit
Does she
into
like it?
No, she freaked out.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
couldn't.
she's not as Mexican as we would like.
She's
She-
half Mexican, a
but
quarter Mexican.
in
my
real
daughter.
life, but she can't handle the spice just yet.
She said it was pica. She told me that's what she said. Too pica. But oh my God, I think I'm pitching the show now.
I think you
There needs to be a
absolutely
competition.
should. Because another thing you said about it is you said that there's a routine to it.
Oh, it's the routine is
The old people get there first.
send the grandparents. They send the grandparents to claim the table or the area. They're
'Cause
there.
they're up at 6 a.m.
5 a.m. The 2 poor grandparents are sitting there. The one woman is crocheting, and the guy's just sitting there, just staring off in the distance. They don't know what they're even doing, but they're claiming the spot. Then 7 a.m. the guy shows up at the barbecue. 8 a.m. I mean, I don't. It's amazing.
You know what is amazing is like
I'm all for it.
I
Like-
really hope that Mexican families don't change because my dad, being Irish
Yeah.
Catholic, he left New York when he got the offer to join McCann Erickson out here, this advertising firm. He told me, he goes, I walked on the beach and I just thought, I'm gonna do it because I don't want a lifetime of guilt about christenings and birthdays and all the stuff that he had to do because all the brothers and sisters and their kids and the
Right.
cousins and everybody was there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to go to LA and like have a weekend to myself.
Right.
And so I'm thinking like, if you're part of one of these families, let me hear from you. Like there must be a lot of like guilt. And now with Instagramming and everything, like let's say you're like a 24-year-old girl and you're single, you're
Right.
hungover, and it's your cousin,
You
her
gotta
8-year-old
go.
birthday.
Yeah.
And they're like, meet us at the park, at Victory and in
Yeah.
Encino or whatever. And she's like, fuck, like I don't really want to go. But then they're like, oh, really? So you have brunch with your friends and you don't see your cousin? Like,
We got a folding chair here for you. We got a pinata, a personal pinata. They're swinging sticks, and you got to be. I mean,
there's
I watched,
got to be some like, now young adult like Mexican families or, single women or people or even your own little family. Or maybe you marry someone that isn't of your culture and is like,
Yeah.
you can't do this to me every Sunday, babe. Like, you can't. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, but
I go.
then how do you, the
I
guilt
don't know.
that they must give you.
Yeah, because they're going through a lot to
And so
set up
does
this
everybody
party.
have to bring something?
Yeah, it seems like it. There's a lot of food and a lot of soda, a lot of 2 liters of, orange soda, Coca-Cola. I watched the game of musical chairs. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. But and the thing about musical chairs, there was one kid. Everyone's 4, and then there was one kid who's 14. And I'm like, well, he's obviously going to win. And everybody was celebrating. Just when he won, he did eventually win because he was, had the strength and
Little
the,
kids are just
the
being
agility.
He's pushing them off the chair with his butt like
Yeah.
little kids flying.
And they were applauding. Like, I'm like, you didn't give the little kids a fighting chance. This 14-year-old shouldn't have been playing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this sounds like a TV show, Chris.
it is. I know.
You guys contact Chris.
Nobody wants to see.
I want to do a Deadline article about this, and I can then, just like I did for Casey
Please.
Hammer, and be like, it was birthed here. I don't have to be part of
Yeah.
it. I'd
Thank
like to, if you ask Margaret Cho to be a guest judge before me, we
Right.
will be done.
Uh-huh.
Don't pull a Guy Brannon
No,
on me
no,
that
no.
has a TV show and
I've
then never
given
calls
you.
me to be
You
on
guys
it.
have more. You and Peter are a Hollywood power couple who likes to lie on couches. Now I've given you the Mexican party competition.
Yes.
Who set it up? And I've given you Cancel House, which is a house of all people who have been canceled in society for whatever reason, and they all have to get together in a house and try and get uncanceled.
I honestly,
Stassi Schroeder's
wait,
there,
Peter knows how to do this shit.
yeah,
I honestly think we should take a minute and just register the idea at Writers Guild and just write. We mentioned it on the show. This is the date. Cancel House. Da 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 da. Chris Frangiola is going to be the EP. I'm going to be a co-producer. I'm going to
Sure,
take a
absolutely.
chunk.
You could do most of the work.
And then I definitely want to appear on camera as like
Yeah.
a judge, or if the Cancel House is, I get to have like a one-on-one as
Right.
like a housewife consultant or whatever the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dr. Drew make a guest spot without his black eye.
Yeah, please.
I
do.
mean, it just,
Yeah, Cancel
Okay.
House. Okay.
we're on it. You guys, where's Chris? Where's Chris? Chris, we know you got listen to Cover. People love
Cover
it.
to Cover
That's
is my
your
podcast. Listen to the podcast.
When are
It's-
your next stand-up dates? He's fully vaxxed.
I'm
Go.
ready to go. Dallas, Texas. Dallas,
So
I'm coming.
fun.
They love you. So your people who
Come.
came, come to me. Hyenas in Dallas. Dallas,
Lovely.
Texas. Hyenas the May 14th and 15th. Just two shows.
Perfect weekend.
2 nights. That's it.
Perfect weekend. Great club.
May 14th and 15th. Great club. Fun. Hyenas in Dallas. Come
All
to
right.
that.
Love you guys. And Chris.
Thank you. Bye.